We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkies.
Welcome back to Deal Junkies. Oh, that was terrible. I'm Dane McKinney. I'm here with Trevor Howard. It's just us today again. We decided that we really liked my interview of me. That's not true at all. We just decided that we were going to interview Trevor because we interviewed Trevor 2 years ago now and haven't gotten an update on the life of Trevor.
Well, why we really decided to do this was because we were supposed to film with Mike and Gabe and we couldn't find the time because we had to go to a wedding. And then they didn't film in the studio. And then today is Tuesday and we release episodes on Tuesday and we didn't want to miss one.
This should be
That's
good right. Still, though. Yeah, but it worked out really well because it's going to be one of our best episodes.
And
ever.
We hear that people like hearing us better than Mike and Gabe. They always ask us to remove them from the podcast. In case they're listening.
I don't know that that's true. But I've heard Trevor say that before. For people that don't know Trevor Howard, give the people an idea of who you are, Trevor.
So I'm Trevor, 29 years old. I work here at Stack Asset Group with Dane and Gabe. Where we build and buy apartment complexes. We do value-add apartments, and then we do ground-up construction. We buy those deals ourselves. We syndicate them. We partner with people, and we're trying to do like 50 to 250 unit projects right now. So,
how did you get into
that? You're not nearly as good as interviewing as Gabe. You say, where did this
all
begin?
No, I know. No, the biggest thing that we should really do is talk about how we got to the point that we're at right now and how much different your days look like right now than they used to.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I've told this story at like all the talks we've done and everything.
No, not this story.
No. Yeah, of where we started.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that, though.
I don't know if they do. There's a lot of new people listening. So, for those of like you guys listening, like we have, I don't know how many units me and you have right now, like 400 or 500 or something now.
Yeah.
But starting out, so I was making $50,000 a year working as an engineer, trying to figure out how to not do that because I just did not like going into work and being on someone's schedule and just not, it felt like a waste of time. Like that was not fit for me. I just saw like the next year I would make $60,000 and I would slide one desk over, and then eventually you work your way up 10 years later and you make like $150,000 as a project manager. And I did not want to do that. So I came across this thing called FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early. And it's the idea that all these people live off of no money and they invest all the difference, and then you can passively live off of that essentially. So my plan was to get $1 million into all my retirement accounts, my IRAs, my investment accounts basically in a 10-year period. And I was living off like $12,000 a year. And then I would live off $40,000 a year eventually, and you'd have like a 4% distribution rate on your $1 million. So you'd have $40,000 a year, which is not nearly enough money depending on what you want to do. But at that time, that was a lot of money. It was almost 4x of me living off $12,000. So I was listening to all these podcasts, learning how to invest, and just put all my money in the S&P and had this 10-year plan. And then I came across Bigger Pockets, like a real estate podcast, and I listened to every single episode that came out to that date. And I started buying houses when I was 22 years old, I think. So that's eight-ish years ago now. So I heard about like this idea of house hacking because all the other ones were like people buying multifamily and building apartments like we do now. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand how to do this. But the idea of house hacking was you go get an owner-occupied loan with like 15 to 20 grand down, and you can buy a 2 to 4 unit, rent out the extra units. But I didn't do that because those deals didn't cash flow as much. So I would go buy a house with as many bedrooms as possible, because at the time I could buy a house for like 400 grand or something like that with 3 bedrooms. Or for $450, I could buy a 5-bedroom home, and my payment would go up by whatever, $300, $400, $500, but I could rent out each bedroom for like $700 to $900. So it would increase my cash flow position. And the only way I knew how to make money in real estate at that time was cash flow. So heard the idea of that, went and did it while making 50 grand a year as an engineer, qualified for barely enough, bought a house, rent out all the rooms, and then I started getting my monthly mortgage statements. So I was living there for free while making money, and I was like, holy crap, like I just cut my living expenses down. I think that's how I got to 12 grand was once I did that. I think I was a little higher before because I was paying rent. But cut my living expenses down, realized I was paying down like $600 a month in principal, also that I was paying in my pocket. And then like the home was going up in value. And I wasn't even thinking about like tax benefits at that time. But that was all tax-free cash flow. So you had to make 30, 40% more at your job to even accomplish that amount of money. So I went and did that again 10 months later because I would read all the loan docs and I saw you had to live in a property for a year, but you could close on your next property 10 months after, and then you had a move-in period of 60 days. So I closed literally on the day like that I could to maximize that of buying the next one the soonest possible. So on the soonest day I could possibly buy it, I bought the next one. And then I added an extra bedroom to that house because more bedrooms was more cash flow. Did that. And then I was cash flowing like 20 or 30 grand a year while living off 12. And then I was retired. So I used to tell everyone that I was retired, and it made people really mad because I was like 23, 24 years old.
Yeah, I remember the first time you told me that, and I didn't like that very much either.
If you tell someone that's been working their whole life when you're 24 years old that you're retired, they get really mad at you. I thought it was really cool because I thought I did a cool thing.
Yeah.
Did the thing. I was like, we all work to retire. I was like, I did it in 2 years. Like, that's cool.
Yeah. No, I think that the reason, well, it didn't make me mad. It annoyed me because in my mind, retirement took so much more money to get to. And you had just decided that you were going to live on no money at all and say that you retired, which is fair because
my definition of retirement was you have more passive income than what
living
you spend.
expenses. Yeah. No, which is definitely one of the ways to look at it. But I don't think there was going to be a world where you never had to work again.
I mean, if I kept doing that, I wouldn't. If I wanted any more responsibility or any other things.
Were you planning on getting married at the time?
No.
You were going to be single Trevor forever?
No, I didn't even think about that. It wasn't even a thought.
You were just retired.
I was just trying to retire, yeah. That was the whole goal.
Funny. That's so funny. So how has your mindset changed surrounding investing in real estate? Not since you were house hacking to like 2 years ago, but from 2 years ago to now. Like, are there any drastic changes that you see?
Yeah, you want to own all the real estate. So it's less of like a short-term cash flow play, and it's like how much wealth can you build by owning this real estate with the proper structure so you can de-risk it, hold it long-term, and then just hold it through market cycles and do that as many times as possible.
Do you think that's changed? Like that's not how you thought 2 years ago?
Yeah, you look at all the other benefits, right, of the value you can create in a deal. I couldn't create value in a deal. Like my whole value was just being able to do math slightly well enough to know if a property will cash flow, not just based on PITI, but accounting for expenses.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. I didn't know how to paint a house. I didn't know how to do flooring. I was just buying move-in ready houses that needed nothing with long-term fixed rate debt that would cash flow once I rented it out.
Were they hard to manage?
Yeah, I had 11 tenants. So it's like having 11 properties, right? And then you have higher turnover because they might stay there for 6 months, 18 months. They're not going to stay there for like 3 to 7 years. So you have higher turnover and it's a different tenant base. But it's like managing 11 bedrooms is like managing 11 different rentals because based on your tenant pool, you don't have all the repairs and maintenance and stuff, but it's more work.
Yeah, that sounds brutal. How many tenants did you go through?
I don't know. Like they would stay like a year or so. It was all young working professionals. So I was working as an engineer, and I would just find people who were check their income and made plenty, and they were just working normal jobs and just didn't want to pay $1,400. They wanted to pay $700 or $800 and save some money.
So what made you decide, I guess, to come out of retirement?
Oh, so I quit my job because I was retired and didn't need it anymore. Of course, yes.
Stupid.
So then I was planning on buying a house a year continually, but I didn't know how loans worked at that time. And because I no longer had the job, I could not buy any more properties conventionally. I didn't qualify because I didn't have W-2 income. So I figured I'd buy more properties. I kept reading books and learning. And I got a broker's license, and then people were like wanting to do the same. So I just started helping people who wanted to do the same. I was like, here's what I'm doing. Here's how you can do it. Started getting into brokerage that way, and then wanted to buy more properties. So learned how I could keep buying properties. So the first year I started investing in about 2 properties. Then the next year I bought 16 units or 16 to 20 units. And then the following year, like 30 something units. So, but what I did, I was learning how I could buy bigger properties, multifamily properties. I was going into banks and like asking them how I get a loan and getting kicked out of the banks. And then one of the lenders introduced me to Gabe. And by the time I had met Gabe, I think I had bought a couple of their fourplexes and triplexes and things like that. And I just started partnering with people and learning how to sell or carry. So I was doing that. And then Gabe kind of introduced me to like why you own real estate other than cash flow, because I saw like his portfolio size and he just answered all the questions I had on how you buy these. And then I took the information he gave me and I went and bought a 16 unit apartment complex at that time. And then I just learned my next goal was so my order of goals was to buy my first property just to cut my living expenses. My next goal was to retire, so just build up passive income higher than that. And then I wanted to, it was the next 2 where I wanted to have $1 million net worth and then do 100 units. I think it was $1 million net worth before the 100 units. So I did that and then set the goal of 100 units and got there. And that's when I learned. So like that was pretty cool because I think I was like 25 when I had like $1 million net worth through buying all these properties. And then I was brokering, so I had some cash too built up. I built up like 300 or 400 or something in cash and then had like 600 in equity or something like that. Then I went to the 100 unit goal and I was just buying whatever I could because I didn't have a ton of money. And then that's when I learned it was better. That was more of an ego goal because I bought.
Definitely.
I'm glad I did those deals, but they were heavy value add that were super capital intensive. And then I went into some bad partnerships and lost all of that money. So I had to come out of retirement essentially. So I set up all these deals and then like had to spend, I had like 300, 400 and I went into negative $300 on like lines of credit and credit card interest because I got some money stolen, did some bad deals and then just did a bad deal and then did good deals, but deals that I probably if I didn't do the other 2 things combined with would have been fine, but the combination of doing heavy value add that needs more capital on it, doing all those things together just bled me dry. So like I had no income essentially while losing money when I was maybe 26 at that time. I don't know.
So the cash flow from your houses could no longer support your portfolio?
It couldn't support buying like 50 units of heavy value add. My 20, 30 grand in cash flow did not support that. When you have to pay for $100,000 roof on something. That was a couple of years of cash flow.
No, that makes sense. So on that note, and kind of realizing the best way to actually frame goals in real estate, because you meet people, the longer you play the game, I guess, you meet people who have what seems to be a really big portfolio or what seems to be something really cool. And then you realize that they don't actually have the lifestyle you want because of how they built it. And then sometimes you meet somebody and it's like, I own 40 houses. And it's like, well, okay, those are all paid off though. And you cash flow and they're in nice neighborhoods. And like, it's like, I'd rather have that guy's portfolio than, 1,000 units in Kentucky. Right. And so I think that to your point of the ego play, like when you first get into it, you don't really know what metric you're supposed to look at. And so what was the biggest lesson learned, I guess, through that phase in terms of how to focus your goals better?
Yeah, the metric was just 100 units, which I did.
Yeah.
But it should have been like, I want to increase my net worth while having this cash flow that produces this lifestyle type of thing.
Just a more specific goal.
Yeah. It was too broad. And then it was just ego. Like 100 units was like unfathomable at that time, where it's like, that'd be really cool if I said I had 100 units. And it was, but like, it's like, I would have rather had 30 units that were well performing than 100 that I'm having to feed to get stable. Like those are great now because I put them on long-term debt and like had to weather like the value add period of 2 years to get them up and running and go through the tenant turns because it was a slumlord property and do all this stuff. And I got to learn how to actually operate properties, not just like buy something and rent it out. You have to go through and like lose money on all the contractors to learn what not to do. So now we can do what we do today, right? So it taught me a lot and it was worth doing. And it still was like a good deal, but it caused a lot of stress to where I didn't get to buy anything for like a year and a half because I had to go solve this problem of like, oh, I have no money. This costs me more money. I don't know how to make money in active income. I don't have a job.
I've been retired for years now.
Yeah. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then I had to go figure out, okay, got to make active income through brokering to solve this problem here and eventually pay it down. Or like sell a property, which I didn't want to do. Yeah. And pay down your bad debts to then get stable again.
And you wouldn't have done either of those things otherwise? Sold a property or tried to broker anything, you think?
No, I don't like brokering. I mean, like, it was cool when we were doing it, but like, I didn't, like, my whole goal was to have that freedom because I thought I just wanted to go do nothing every day, which was not that fun, it turns out, because I did for 6 months. Like, I did 6 months of not like truly retired, like not doing whatever I wanted every single day. I would go snowboarding, play basketball, go to the gym. No, like I didn't have to do any work. Like I just had money coming in and I had money saved up. I didn't have to do anything.
Was that depressing?
Yeah. Like I learned very quickly that I will work forever on something. Like you don't want to not have anything to do. You just want to have the freedom to pick what that thing is. Yeah. So like now it's fulfilling because we get to pick what we want to do every single day. I don't have to go in and be told what to do. Yeah. Like that was the worst of being an engineer and going in and being like, this is a waste of time. Like I'm asking for more work and we have like 4 hours of stuff, but I have to sit here for 4 hours and pretend to work. Like what are we doing? Yeah. So then I would just go home on those days, and then if they would be like, you're gonna get fired, I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Like,
that's crazy. And they would just tell you that you didn't have any work left to do? You had to stay in the office?
Yeah, I would go in. Like I was a bad employee. Like I showed up like at 11 o'clock one day and left at 3, and I was 20 minutes late to a meeting. And that was kind of on the tail end of that. And they were like, we'll send you home without any pay. And I was like, okay.
That's crazy. So I'm sure that shifted how you wanted to be as an employer, which we've kind of structured jobs around that, I would think, or just doing the opposite of that.
Yeah, you want fulfilling work that you can control and actually feel good about. And then like, if you don't have anything to do that day, why do I need to sit here if I've done everything?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's more
or give someone responsibility to like have more to do. Yeah. Like I was just a taskmaster, like doing this $50,000 job.
And now you're the total opposite of that. You avoid as much as you can because of the trauma that your engineering job caused you.
That's what you want to say, sure.
No, so when you got into real estate, what was, I guess I shouldn't say when you got into it, when you really got into it and started buying, like when you bought the Sang portfolio, what was harder than you expected it to be, and what was easier than you expected it to be?
I mean, harder was actually managing and renovating. Like, what does this cost? I've never renovated anything. What does it cost to do this? And then managing the contractors and not losing money on that. Like just finding people who are going to do what they say they're going to do at the cost they say they're going to do it. Because we would just get the bid, be like, okay, let's do it. Change order, it costs actually not $100,000, $200,000, and we already did it, and you owe us this money. And like just not knowing that game of like managing that properly.
Yeah, because you would have to sign the change order, right? But it was just like
not always.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had
sometimes they would just do it, or they would be working with a PM, and then the PM might or kind of it was learn to keep a closer eye on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's $100,000, I probably would. And then what was easier, you think? Was anything easier?
I don't know. I didn't have an expectation for what was easy or hard.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, that's fair. What has become more important since you got into real estate and started having more control over your time? Like in life, what's become more important to you, I guess?
I feel like I'm doing the same things.
Really?
Yeah, like I go do all the activities I like to do.
You mean the same thing since you retired?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I mean, I like to have goals and hobbies and fill my time with those and then fill the other time with work.
Mm-hmm.
But now what we do for work is just like our hobby also. Like we're just trying to do deals.
It is true. We do end up talking about it quite a bit.
Yeah, which is my favorite activity to talk about.
Yeah. Well,
so then when you don't like to talk about deals, then you bother me.
Trevor likes to come into my home at 8:00 at night and try and talk about a deal that's on his mind. When I'm trying to wind down. I think talking about deals winds you down though. It calms your mind because it's what you're supposed to be talking about. You feel like, which is fair. What is a belief that you held about like what we could do as a company 2 years ago that you don't hold now, or that has like changed?
Oh, the scale of which we can do it. Like you can truly, like when I started out, my whole goal was over my whole investment career was to own 10 houses, right? Mm-hmm. Which we could go buy 10 houses by the end of the month, probably. Probably not this month. It's April 27th, but maybe. But by like end of May, you could go buy 10 houses.
Yeah.
And like anyone can do this. Like I didn't know people investing in real estate, and everyone that I knew told me not to do it. Mm-hmm. So like I truly believe anyone can do this, and that's why we're helping people do it for a while. And it's just like, just get 3 houses and you set your whole retirement account in Oregon, at least.
Yeah.
Other states, they're much cheaper.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I was asking the belief that changed over time.
Yeah, just the scale of which you can do this, because now we're looking at like $50 million projects, $100 million projects as a single project that's bigger than the whole portfolio I expected to own. Mm-hmm. One project.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. I think that's probably drastically changed for me too.
And just knowing how much you can do once you've seen it, and then like everyone else doing it is just a normal dude who slowly learned it over time.
Yeah. No, that is so true.
Real estate is not rocket science.
Mm-hmm. It's extremely simple.
Yes.
Yeah. I think people get scared at the potential downside without actually quantifying it.
Yeah, and there's a lot more downside in what we do because there's a lot more you can mess up rather than just buying something that's already rented or you can rent out. Mm-hmm. It's doing, and then it's having the team, right, who can do all the construction, because I'm not going to go do the construction. I could not go manage a 200 unit build, but Mark can.
Yeah. It's not even, it doesn't even make Mark nervous at all.
Yeah, because he's done it. Like that's what he's constantly doing all day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that the way that I've framed it has changed too, in the sense, not only the scale at which we can do it, but I think I had so many limiting beliefs at the start. Like obviously now we know, okay, here's the scale we can do it at. But prior, the limiting beliefs were just so self-imposed. Like it was always just like, I'm going to buy one house a year. Here's why I can only buy one house. Or I'm going to buy, a property a year or whatever it is. And then now, and I think part of that is the people that we're surrounded by.
And it's what you learn from each deal.
Yeah.
And then who you see doing other deals and the things you can pick up from them. So everyone I met, I would ask them, what deals are you doing? How did you do them? Mm-hmm. Very detailed, so I could see and be like, oh, can I do that? Can I do that?
Yeah.
And then now we just can do deals because we add so much value because we've done so many deals, and then we know how to do them and we know how they'll perform pretty close to. So then it's like, it seems simple to us, but that's 8 years of
just learning.
Yeah.
Really just learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So over that time period, because that's something I think about too, is how the people that I used to like look up to, so to speak, have changed. And so for you, how have like who do you view as like mentors or people that you would look up to, even if you don't know them personally? Because I feel like at some point that kind of happens.
Oh, I had a list of all the most influential people in my life. I wrote them letters. Not
Did they
everyone.
respond?
Yeah, I wrote the people I knew fairly well, the letters that were, but then there's the other people on there. And a lot of it was through podcasts.
Yeah.
Because it's just seeing what someone else is doing. And then like we're telling you now, like you can go buy, like the average person can own 10 houses. Like that's a $10 million portfolio in 30 years it's paid off and worth however much more. Like you're very wealthy. And like anyone can do that. But most people don't think they can. Yeah. But like we're just some kids here telling like that you can do that. Like you can make 50 grand a year and you can go build a real estate. Like I did it.
Yeah.
Like I had no financial education. I was an engineer, so I understood like math. I didn't know anyone buying real estate, and it was just free information online. So like Brandon Turner, right? Best example. This was like probably surreal for him. I went to his mastermind thing when I was 25, I think. We go to his house or whatever event he hosts near his house. And he asked, he's like, so like, what, like, how'd you do that? Why'd you get into real estate? It's like, you told me I could.
Yeah.
You're the one, you told me on the podcast. Like, you just talked about it.
I don't know if you know this or not, but you host one of the larger real estate podcasts.
Yeah. And I was like, I thought I could because you said I could.
Yeah.
And that's why.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think it would take for somebody who wasn't single and living on rice and chicken?
Yeah, give me a description of the person.
Okay,
like,
so it's somebody who they are married, they're 30 years old, they have 2 kids and a small dog.
Okay.
They live in
I'll tell you how.
Wilsonville.
Okay. So, couple options they can do is they probably live in a house already, like majority of people. You just keep it and move to another, and instead of selling it, you turn it to a rental. Like it's pretty simple. Most people's, they're like, oh, I don't want to move, I don't want to do this. I was like, you pay $1,000 and you move, and you can set yourself up. Like it's a good trade-off.
Yeah.
You could also partner with other people, right, who are willing to live like by the room rentals or.
What do you think the best strategy would be to partner with somebody?
I mean, someone who's going to own or occupy someone, and then you can go in with less money, right? So the people's constraint is going to be money typically at that age. So then you have to figure out, how do you buy deals with less money? So you can buy creative deals, but then they don't have the knowledge if they've never bought a deal to do that. So that's like, okay, I could do a value add deal with hard money too, but then that's more risk because you've never rehabbed anything. So like ease into it, take on the least amount of risk possible is through these owner occupied loans. Like it's the simplest, easiest to understand way. Like you're going to move anyway, rather than sell your house, just keep it as a rental.
What if it doesn't
might not make sense as a
money?
rental? Yeah. So then I would actually sell it, and then I would go into your next one with the intent to live there for a shorter period of time and then keep it as a rental. And then usually it's like, okay, we don't have that house type we want to live in. It's like, okay, how can you make it work based on your constraints? Can you get a house with an ADU on it so that you can Airbnb, or can you go rehab your next house and now it's nice for your wife and family to live in, and then you can turn it to a rental, but you create equity in it, right? Like there's a bunch of ways to do it. It's not going to be like it's a sacrifice in some way. Like you're not going to just be given the perfect property with no money. Yeah. Like you're going to have to do some work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's the struggle for a lot of people, is when they realize that they don't want to have to sacrifice anything. And it's, well, there's one area where you're going to have to get the outcome that you want at least.
Yeah. And it's worth it. Like, and like for most people, it's like if you bought a house 3 years ago and you have a low interest rate, even if it wasn't a good deal, you have a good debt, and now it's a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think a lot of people too get really, really stuck in the next year. Do you see that? Like, do you see that a lot, where people are like so concerned with what the next year is going to look like, when if you frame it like 10 years from now? Because I think that's probably what brought you out of the engineering job, was like you just had the 10-year plan of like, what do I want?
Yeah, I was thinking 10 years out, like from day one. I wasn't thinking like I wasn't even thinking I could build that cash flow that quick. I didn't realize that until I bought that first house and saw how much I was making, and then saw I could get more bedrooms and build up the cash flow. But it's like what is the goal, right? And then
begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. So how would you do it, knowing exactly what you know now, though? If you had to restart.
If I had this knowledge base?
You have this knowledge base, but you don't have a job. and you just have to go restart
Do I
somewhere.
have any money? No money?
No, you
money?
probably have some money saved up.
I mean,
you have enough to live for
yeah, like
6 months.
I would do what we're doing now. Like I would just skip all those beginning deals, but like you need those to get the knowledge base.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd go and find a construction partner who can do that. And then I would find the deals, and then I would find someone who can raise money, or you can raise money as the team or whatever. And then you can structure these deals around whatever resources you have. But
What are the hardest pieces to each deal?
each type of deal,
Each deal that you do. What's the hardest piece to get done?
probably, I mean, finding the deal, they're all hard in their own respect. Like that's why no one does them. Like they're all very hard. Like finding a deal is hard that pencils.
A good deal.
Yeah, depending, and that's the weird part. So like when we talk to friends, like I just want a good deal. Like what is a good deal to you? Because that's very different. Like, are you investing with other people that you own a portion? Like who's putting money in? This affects the capital stack. Are you investing for cash flow or equity growth or some sort of blend? So you have to know like what you want out of the deal. So when I started, I wanted cash flow. So it was very, very easy to be like, what is my cash on cash return of this deal? If it exceeded 10%, I was like, that's killer. Awesome. But those were like by the room, you go way higher. But it's like, what is the goal of the deal? Okay, what deal types can I do? Do they meet this? So for us now, it's like, can I go do a value add deal where I can pull basically most of, all of, or more than the money that we've invested out of it within 2 years or less? Or can I hit a 20% average annual return on this deal for investors? So meaning the deal level is even higher over a 5-year span. And that's pretty much what we're doing right now. Right. So like we know what those look like. Now you have to go find the deal. It's like, okay, that's really hard to find those metrics when you're operating these deals and getting them to there. Like that's just hard to find. So that's very hard. Now it's hard to find the money for it. More so because we haven't been raising money that long. We're a year and a half into raising money. Yeah, because we were doing it all without raising money prior. So now it's like, okay, now we haven't even talked to anyone to like raise money. So you got to start doing that. So that's very hard. Now it's like, okay, now you got to operate the deals because now you have way more to worry about with all these different managers and all these different properties. And we have stuff from Hermiston, Oregon over to the coast down to Brookings all along I-5. So it's this 5-hour radius of deals. Now it's like, okay, how do I stay on top of all these things being done on time, on schedule, on budget?
Yeah.
So like it's all hard.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the biggest learning curve on operations? Because I feel like on the front end you were underwriting a ton of deals, but you don't get to actually operate anything until you have enough to operate.
Yeah, knowing how a deal actually performs once you're operating them, and that like a broker pro forma is so far off from how it will actually perform. Your rents and your PITI, that's not your cash flow. Like you have all these other things, and there's all these things you can implement, like RUBS, and like how can you cost effectively do this stuff, and when do you need to do this stuff, and what stuff needs to be done day one versus what stuff can you fix and just repair before like changing it out fully 10 years later, and like scheduling that stuff out. That's the biggest thing. And then just being dialed with the expenses of like not wasting money and knowing how so like you can look at a deal now and you can be like, okay, it's a multifamily deal with $1,000 rents. It's going to operate at a 50 to 60% expense ratio. You have $1,200 rents. It's probably going to be at like 45 to 50. Okay, we have $1,800 rents. Maybe you can operate that around 35%. And because you've looked at so many deals, or like your metric of a deal should operate between $5,000 to $7,000 in expenses per unit per year. And it's like you start seeing these trends on the deal, so you can quickly look at them. And then if someone shows you a deal,
wrong.
and they're like, hey, this operates at 20% expense ratio and there's $1,300 rents, you're like, there's no shot. Like it costs more than that to operate the deal.
Yeah. No, I think that's that was a huge learning curve for me too, was realizing that like the numbers on the spreadsheet are so far from reality. Even when you're the one underwriting it and like we're pushing numbers, it's like there's just, even if you operate really well, it's still surprising like when the stuff comes, I guess. Again, part of that's just because I'm not the one running the operations on our deals, but just realizing like, oh my God, like this, we did underwrite to a 40% expense ratio, but it still feels like a lot when you're putting all of that into a portfolio or whatever it is. But Yeah, I think that I guess the biggest thing that I tell everybody getting into investing is to just start actually underwriting. And I mean, I know that you throw that at people
I underwrote
all the
100
time.
deals before I bought one multifamily. Like,
Yeah.
I built out, I was doing it by hand. What are the rents? What are the expenses? What is the debt cost? And I was like, okay, let me put this in Excel that I keep redoing. And then you just keep on doing the math, and then you can start seeing, and then you determine like, what would I buy this deal for? How would I structure it? Then your next step is like, okay, make those offers over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just pattern recognition, being able to see what makes sense on a deal. I mean, that's why, and that blew me away with Gabe when we first started working with him, because he had looked at so many stinking deals that he would price something exactly what it was actually worth, and we thought we could be $1 million off on something, and he'd be like, well, no, here's why, and then explain it to us. And
because he had done so many deals and brokered so many deals and been part of so many deals.
Yeah. So what's the biggest learning lesson that you've had over the past year? Biggest thing you've learned, most important thing you've learned to moving forward?
For us?
Us, whatever.
We got to do bigger deals.
Really?
Yeah, because it takes the same amount of time basically as doing a smaller deal.
Yeah. What's a bigger deal?
I mean, we were looking at 20 to 50 unit deals when we started, right? Or like 10 to 50 unit deals. And 50 was a big deal. Now we're trying to do a minimum of 50 on most of the deals. Like, we'll still buy some of the smaller ones if it just comes to us, but we're not really looking for it. So it's like now we're trying to do 50 to 250 unit deals, because it's the same. It's just like building our 66 unit, but now you're building 4 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, all the effort's the same.
Yeah.
It's just more. Whatever you're doing is just more. Mark has to have more people on the job.
And then you get better debt though on these. Is the big thing we're learning.
That is crazy.
So it actually gets easier in some regards to that. But now you need other requirements, or you got to bring in other partners, because now it's like maybe your net worth isn't there, or you don't have enough liquidity because you're doing another deal. So it's learning all the pieces you need. And it's just like, we know how to do deals. So it's like, if the deal makes sense, we're confident we'll do it.
We can just find all the pieces.
Yeah, you find all the pieces that you're missing, and then you're good to go. But we know what the pieces are, is the thing. Like, most people don't know what they need.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That was basically all that I had. We kind of winged this one, but I don't know how long did we go?
30 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect. Who cares? Yeah. Well, I guess one last thing would be like, and this is the same one that everybody asks, and I think I know the answer, but what would be the one piece of advice that you'd give somebody who wants to start in the next 3 months?
Yeah, it's buy your first deal. So I spent a year listening to every podcast and reading every book before I bought my first deal. And I learned more from just buying the deal and operating the deal than I did from all of those hours of doing it. And your first deal is your hardest deal and your scariest deal, because you haven't done it before. So like, I'm signing on $400,000 in debt, which is not very much now. And I'm about to shit my pants. Like, what if these people don't pay me? Like, what if my house burns down, and all these concerns that people have? But doing your first deal is your most important deal. And it's like, it doesn't have to be a home run. Like, those aren't home run deals. They're just freaking normal houses I bought on the market.
Yeah.
It's just like, does this deal meet your goals? It's not going to go exactly to plan. But if you plan on building any sort of portfolio, the learning from that will be worth it. And if you're doing it on this 30-year fixed rate debt, let's say you bleed $200 a month and you thought you're going to cash flow $200 a month. That's going to correct itself over not that long of a period of time. And so you spend an extra $4,800 to own a $400,000, $500,000 asset that if you just held and it didn't go up by $1 in value in 30 years, you made $500,000. It's a no-brainer. Everyone should be buying real estate.
So step one is what?
Step one is what is your goal of this real estate over what time frame, right? And that's evaluating your resources. So what money do you have? What is your knowledge base? What is your skill base? Okay. Now, what are all of these options? Which ones align with that goal, those skill sets, and how much resources you have? And then which one is most realistic to execute? And then once you have that, like you just do it.
Don't hold back. Talk
Yeah.
to all the right people too.
Yeah.
I think finding a really
Someone
good
who's done it
loan
before.
officer and then somebody who's done it before.
If you just talk to someone who's done it before, 'cause everyone I talked to about buying real estate, once I started like reaching out to people that owned real estate, and I would tell them like, oh, I'm thinking about buying this. Yeah.
just do it.
What are you worried about? Like,
Yeah.
And then everyone who didn't own real estate was freaking
you
out
not to.
about, told me
Yeah.
not to. And all these people who owned real estate were like, what is your problem? Like, yeah, you should do that. It's a no brainer.
Don't take advice from people who don't have the outcome that you want. Yeah. No, I think that's pretty key when getting into it. The list of mentors continues to get shorter, which is good, I think. You can't take advice from too many people because then you really end up taking advice from nobody. You can't execute on all of it. So find the people with the dream outcome that you want and then just actually listen to them and do the thing. That's what you did with Gabe. That's what I did with you and Gabe and Mark. But all right, well, good deal. I thought that was fun.
Cool.
I like listening to Trevor talk.
And if you guys want to hop on a call with us and get help with this kind of stuff, so like if you have money, you're trying to figure out how to invest it, you're trying to figure out how to take that next step, we're trying out a thing where you can hop on a call with us and we can hopefully help you take whatever that next step is and give you some of our thoughts. So you can scroll down in the link here, and there's a link to our website, dealjunkiespodcast.com. I'm pretty sure, or you can enter that. The link will be there.
There's a link.
And you can book a call there, or if you want to partner on a deal, send us a deal. You'll see information for that as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, Deal Junkies, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.